Selling for the business owner. Hi, my name is Ronald Hughes and this is Newsphere Business. It's a training channel for a company called Contact Ignition in Dublin, Ireland. And today what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about the idea that selling is a skill that most business owners have a difficulty with. And selling, it comes in, and what I want to do is just take this as a small little piece today. I do this over a 2-day period with business owners and teach the full skills of selling, but I thought that a video might be nice for people out there worldwide who can't get here to do the course anyhow. So here's what I'm going to get into. A couple of quick things. One is that why salespeople find it, or owners find it difficulty. Why owners find a difficulty in the selling process is sometimes related around to the fact that they're very well tied in emotionally with their products, their services. And because they are their services, they may find it very difficult to sell themselves. Sometimes it's because of the fact that the skill is too wrapped up in what they do, and what happens is there's ego involvement with that. And so it's a good idea to actually understand the key elements of selling. The other thing is that sometimes salespeople and sales trainers can be a bit crass about the fact that what they're interested in is money. And where many business owners are actually interested in providing the service, they're skilled people, usually often technically aware, and they value the work that they do, and so they have a different relationship to the whole sales process than salespeople do. Interesting thing here is that understanding that selling is not exactly what most people think it is. It's selling versus marketing. Marketing is about bringing a product to a potential customer, and selling is about getting that customer to agree to pay for the product or service. There are three things that you need to know in order to be good at selling. You need to understand the etiquette of sales. And the etiquette of sales is about the rules of engagement, about how we shake hands with somebody, about how we ask questions, and about how we in fact relate to them, about our relationship and about how that relationship is worked. Then you've got a process, the actual process of going through selling. And then you've got the psychology of selling, about why people buy things. And that area sort of flips over into the marketing side at the very back end. But let's first go into the etiquette side. There are rules about how you engage with someone. At the very beginning of a conversation, there are rules about how fast you speak, about how you shake hands with someone. You're reaching out that hand. You know, if you have the hand out and you're over on the other side of the room going, hey, Ray, you know, and you're coming in. Some places that's aggressive. And if you grab hold of someone's hand and you don't let go of it, some places that's not accepted. Make sure you understand the rules of engagement where you are and where you're coming from. Secondly, there are the processes that you need to follow. And the sales process is very simple. A guy called E.K. Strong wrote a book in 1915, I think it is when he did the research. But 1920, he wrote a book called The Psychology of Selling Insurance. And he went out and followed insurance salespeople. And what he discovered is that they opened with questions. They used those questions to identify needs. Out of those needs that were identified, they presented features and advantages within their products or services that related to those needs, and thus giving a benefit to the customer. They handle any objections and they ask for the order. Those are the 5 stages of a sales process, and there's only one sales process. Although a number of others include things around etiquette within the process, and they also include things around the psychology of selling. And the last is the psychology of selling. The psychology of selling is about how people's needs are fulfilled, about how we go about fulfilling our needs, and about the levels at which we fulfill them. A guy called Abraham Maslow wrote something called the hierarchy of needs in the 1950s. And a lot of salespeople, a lot of sales trainers talk about this hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow discounted that in 1968, and he said it didn't work. But he did come up with a couple of other theories around how needs are actually fulfilled. One thing you have to understand is there are different types of needs. Physiological needs are the need for food, water, shelter. Those things are demanded upon your body Psychological needs are the ones that salespeople work to. Psychological needs are the areas in which people have a feeling of loneliness, anger, anxiety, sadness. And then you have something called self-actualization. And self-actualization is our aspirations, where we aspire to be and what we're looking to gain in our lives, what our lives are about. And the really best salespeople work to the sales actualization level. And that's the interesting thing. If you get to actualization, what you'll find is that the customers are far more in tune with the way that you're dealing with them, and you've established a great relationship there. You've got to build rapport with people. That comes from etiquette, and it comes from the process. But rapport is about when two people become synchronized in the same emotional state. And those emotions are what actually make salespeople very valuable. It's because what we do for a living is conduct emotional labor. And so if you're a business owner and you're looking at how to fulfill your customers' needs, how do you get out there and sell them on that plumbing job or on doing electrical work or building a wall for someone? Understand that it's not about the plumbing, it's not about the electrical work, it's not about the wall. It's about how the customer feels about themselves through this experience, about what they want to get out of it. If you start to get into a good frame of thinking as a salesperson, whereas you may have been a great plumber all along, it's the cleanup that may be more important for the client than it is the plumbing itself. You might make the most perfect copper joints, but if the customer is really worried about the fact that you were leaving materials around on the job, it's probably not going so well for them. So understand that selling is about those areas, and that when you work to be a better salesperson, you'll have better, happier clients at the end of the day, whether you're a plumber or a carpenter or whether you own a small shop someplace. My name is Ronald Hughes. This is Contact Ignition. It's a small training company in Dublin, Ireland. We would appreciate it if you would rate this video and comment and let us know what you think about it and go from there. We conduct regular training programs throughout Ireland, the UK, and Europe. And we'll look forward to talking to you some point in the future. Thank you very much. Goodbye.